Hi guys, welcome back.
Welcome back everybody.
Right. Little continued on with our bag of firewood we've got. What else can we get out of it? So a little thing I want to do today, I've got this piece of wood. Now you can see I mean, what would you do really with something like this? I'm not going to put it on and turn a bowl or a tea light holder. I want to do something different. I'm going to do a little pencil pot out of this, okay? And I only want a small one, and I don't want it too wide. It's not to hold a load of pencils. It's something, you know, as I said, craft fair sellers, guys. If you're going to put on a little desk or something, Kiddie has it on here, their little table, and it's just hold a few pencils, I should say. Now, the thing is, if you do tall ones, that's okay when you've got nice new pencils. But for me, all my pencils have gone to this sort of size, you know. So I want little pot that would hold these sort of type pencils, you know. So that's why I'm going to use this, and I think I'll get one out of that. Should be all right. Okay, and what I want to do, I'll talk through it. Hang on. What I did first off, I've got my compass and I've put it on. I've already done it just to check, and I've just marked a circle round. Make sure I can get a circle in there, and then I've done, turn it over, exactly the same on this side, and made sure I can just get that circle. Okay, so that there, if you can see it, is actually the diameter I can get, the maximum diameter. I might be just slightly under that by the time I take a finish cut. Okay, and that's going to be the pot, and it's probably going to be about that deep, you know, for small pencils. And what I want to do, I might put a little taper on the outside of it, but what I am going to do is I'm going to put a little taper on the inside, so that when the pencils sit in, they spray that way, not just straight down the edges, because then you can get them easy. Yeah, just a little thinking about it, you know, might help to make them sellers. Now, when I've done that last piece and it had a piece like this, I cut it off on the bandsaw. But like I said before, not everyone's got a bandsaw. So what would you do? Some people say about using an electric plane or a plane on it and things like that. You don't have to do none of that. You just have to take your time, be careful, and use the correct tools to do the job. You can quite easily rough that down to a round from that shape with no problems whatsoever. And I'm going to show you how we go about it. Okay, so I'm going to mount this. That's going to be the slightly thinner, so I'm going to mount that on the drive, and I'm bringing this up. I'm 2 step centers. We've spoken about that with step centers, so on the last video. So right, okay, that's nice and tight, nice, not over tightened, don't wrench, just nice and tight, so it's there. But if it does get a catch, you want it to be able to spin, and it will do. Okay, now obviously all I'm going to be taking off first is this bit here. Okay, so now I've got to have my tool rest out quite a bit. That noise is the camera arm.
It was not me.
It's Lisa moving. Now you can see here how much air I've got. Look, we've got a massive gap right through that bit, but this bit is close. Okay, so we've got to take this bit off first, and that's all we've got to do is take that off, a little bit of that off. Now again, this is where you can use a roughing gouge if you want to use a roughing gouge, okay, but I would not recommend using your roughing gouge like this, okay, at all. You know, the old what's it here on your body, push it in, because this is going to come down and chances are you're going to break that off. You need to get a cut on it, okay. You need to cut the wood. The wood must not come down on the edge there, it must come down on the edge that way. Okay, if it comes down, let me show it here. Yeah. If it comes down this way, it's going to smash. If it comes down that way, it's going to cut, okay. As long as your chisel's over, it's going to cut it. Now, my preference, I said before, that's why I have a fingernail grind on some of my roughing gouges. Perfect for this. I'll come in and I'll take that down in seconds. Be beautiful. Not everyone's got them, and a lot of you I know want to know about doing it with carbide. Okay, you're all told the one for roughing is the square. It's not a rougher, it's just a square carbide if you buy mine. Now again, if you come here, you go in flat, you can see what's going to happen, can't you? Okay, I wouldn't come in flat with it, because you are going to end up getting that banging down, and there's a chance you're going to break some off. Again, we need to, yes, even with the square, we need to roll it over and take some gentle cuts along or along. If it's rolled over like that, look, you can see it comes onto a cutting edge. Okay, it's nice and easy to move like that, gentle. If it comes there, you can see what it's got to do. That just explains the carbide. Now, I would recommend, if you're new to turning, that you'd use the round. Makes it a whole lot easier. Again, don't come flat, just roll it, come here, and you can just cut along. Makes it really easy. But we're going to do, I'll do a little bit with both just to show you, okay? Right, that's got that out of the way. Face shield on is an absolute must. Do not turn something like this without one. Glasses will not protect you. Okay, right, that's a bit out of shape. I don't think it's going to wobble. I'm not going to turn my speed down low. All I'm going to do is start up, and I'm going to step away from the lathe a bit. So bosh, and I'm over here. There we go. Doesn't that sound? It sounds like an aeroplane, doesn't it? Okay. Right, now with your square, like I said, the way I would approach it, roll it, and just come in and take some gentle cuts. Like this. Handles down, and I'm rolled over slightly. Okay. Take some like that. Oh, it's got to come out a little bit there. Like this. Okay. And you can just come in, take it down in stages. Keep getting that little bit there. That's it. This way, turn it, come in this way. Now this is one of those places where I wouldn't recommend you just start on the end there, because you could flick a bit off. So just come from there and just take it down. All you're doing is this gentle cut. You can see there's no grabbing, there's no, look, it's not jumping, it's not shaking. Look, you can see how easily, yeah, how easily, look, we hold it, look. Okay, there's no grabbing or jumping or shaking. Now I'm going to move it in a little bit because we've already moved down. I can see the shadow there. Don't hit the piece. Now the round one, which I always say is the better one, there we go, look, comes on exactly the same, nice and gentle. And with your carbides, it's so easy to control. You can actually stand, if Lisa moves around there a little bit, you can actually stand. That's the piece there. I can stand right away from it, and I can put my arms out in front of me, and I can rough that down. Okay. And if anything's going to fly off, it's going over there. I'm totally out the way. If you're right-handed and you want to do it with your right hand and you've got room at your leg, see I'm up against the wall here, you can come and do it that way. It works the same, exactly the same both ways, okay? And that's the round chisel, and this is doing it with the square chisel. Now remember, these chisels are just part of the standard Type 3 set, okay? £85 free UK postage. Right, again, we come here, and you can see I haven't got that chisel on my body. I don't want to be locking myself up. It won't do me any favours with the wood. And again this way, so I can stand well out of the way and just come in, handles behind the cutting edge, so slightly towards me, just rolled over. There's the bevel, look, we've got our bevel, and we just come along, make nice controlled cuts. Keep diving in a little bit there, that's it, there. If it does that, don't tilt it, just come back. So I've got to the point now, I'm just running it back across the wood and then picking up another cut. There we go, look, there. Just run it back and forward, nice and gentle. And we're getting it down nicely, okay? With no drama. Now most of that should have gone by now. Oh, look at that finish as well, look. That's that chunky. We've got these two flats here, these flip, but we're not to the round yet. Okay, we've got a little way to go. got this to remove. But look how smooth that wood is there. And we're just doing a quick, I'm not on my bottom out here like this. Get the tool away from you. You don't want to be standing here doing this, okay? And you don't want to be doing this. You stand there, anything flies, or where's it going? Straight here, straight to me. You don't want that. Right, now we've got most of those nasty bits gone, and we've got this. I think you can see, right, you can see the black circle. Where's the pencils gone? I'll put them all over there, didn't I? Let me grab one of my pencils. Right, so that there is the circle, okay? So now I've got everything down. So now what I can do is by dropping my handle, remember, look, you can see I'm way above centre. And all I'm going to do is come down to that circle now. There. It's just coming to the round. That's it. All I'm going to do is just gently take this down, nice and quick. I've got no fear of anything coming off now. There we go. Right, so we've got it all down to round, and now we're just going to clean it up. We're going to come in, put our bevel on, and we're going to come along. I'm going to clean this up. Remember, that's not the actual finished shape for there, so I'm just cleaning it. And now again, you put your bevel on, okay, come back and just keep going until you pick that cut up. You'll just feel it. You pick it up with that bottom corner there. There, look at that, nice. Come down this way, all the way. Right, now I'm going to put it, get rid of that bit, I'm going to put a tenon on the bottom. Straight tenon, going in my sharp jaws. Do another little one. There we go, the straight tenon. Alright, I don't need to have a dovetail or anything. Clean it up nicely. That's it. And then we can go from that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here and just take a little bit of that off. So I can see it wasn't quite straight on that front. There you go. Let's have a look what we got. There, look. That's our roughed it down piece. Okay, so we've got to the round. That's how you will rough a piece down that shape without any drama, without any catches, any grabbing, and without being in any danger. I'm just going to put that tool up there. It is very, very simple, very easy. There's no putting tools on your body, there's no cramping yourself up. It's easy to do. We don't turn with our body, we turn with our hands, our arms. They can do amazing things. Don't restrict yourself by having it on your body. Right, I'm just going to use my small. If you haven't got sharp jaws, then you'll have to make a little dovetail and put it into your dovetail. Okay, there we go, that's in there. That's tight, and 1/4. That's tight enough, that ain't going anywhere. So now this is the size of our biggest we can have our pencil pot. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to hollow that out, I think, first. And it's out a little way. I should give you a little of what we are out here. Right, we're 4.5 inches out, and we are just over 50 mil,
Someone
2
did
inches.
ask millimetres.
Yeah, 115
Okay.
millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to take my step centre out, get rid of that, put that down that end, put that there, and we're going to get this down to a depth. Okay, right, we're going to start up, make sure everything runs true. Yep, look, there's no wobble, that's all running nice and true. I'm going to use my little box follower first, just to come in. I'm a little bit above centre. But that doesn't hurt because all I'm doing is getting a little divot hole for my drill. Okay, and I'm going to use my little hand drill for that. I'm going to use this one. Hopefully it's going to go in on straight. Wobbling a little bit, but that's alright. There we go. Clean the swap out. Now, how far am I going to go? Right, I don't want it too deep a pot. So I'm going to have to move that down because otherwise the ferrule's going to hit it. I want to go just above that black line, okay? That should do me. Alright. Now, if you make yourself one of these, and they're not hard to, it's just glue a drill bit in the handle. When you use it, don't ever hold the drill bit or that, because if it does bite and spin, that will just take the skin completely off your fingers. Ooh. And that will hurt. Right, so now we've got to come above centre so that we can follow this with our 14mm square. Okay, and we're going to use our 14mm square. So you can see I'm above centre. If I was on centre, I wouldn't get into this hole. Now I've got to take this in little stages to get into it first. You can hear the noise, that's because I'm going dead onto end grain. It doesn't like it, let me just tighten that all down, that's it. Nothing's moving here though. If this starts to wobble, stop and check it. Right, now what will happen if your hole's not big enough, which is a little bit of what's happening there, is it will push the chisel over because the bar here catches the inside of the hole and pushes you over. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the little box holder first to come in and just open the hole a little bit. Just go in there. Now notice I've got it rolled over, okay, we'll just clear that dust out. Right, okay, now, it's getting a little bit hard to see in there, so I'm going to try something here. I'm going to stop that. See how we're doing first off. Right, we're already down a little way, so now I can use the square to get in there and get down, okay? And what I want to do, because I went just above that line to about there, I'm going to just put a little pencil mark on this outside. That should tell me roughly, fairly roughly, how far I've got to go down, okay? Down to there. So then what I can do is I can put a little pencil line, you won't really see it, but I can, on my chisel, which will let me know how far I'm going down, okay? The other thing you can do is if you've got little magnets, you can put a little rare earth magnet on your bar and then go down to there, okay? Richard Raffin likes to do that. I have them and I always forget to do it. Same as another thing I always forget to do. And I had a very nice gift come through the post today from
John St. Pierre.
John St. Pierre sent me this from America. He's actually made this, okay, battery operated, and it's got a light here that can go onto my tool rest, and then that lights up and shines right inside. And this is magnetic, and this can just go down onto the lathe. Now, it's going to be okay for me because
it's going to be very bright for me to see.
I can. Is it okay on the?
Very bright.
Oh, it's a bit bright for you, isn't it? You're not going to see. Sorry, guys, you're not going to see inside that.
No, actually, it's yeah, I can see the tool going in.
Right, it is a bit on the bright side, but
I can see the angle of the tool.
It's going to help me just to go in. I'm just going to give it a try, okay? It's not something it's sort of shining my eyes a little bit, but it's not something I would normally use. But he sent me that, and thank you very much. That's going to be very helpful. I'm going to see if I can put it down a little bit.
Yeah, maybe lower it a little bit.
They're going to be any good for you?
Put the tool in there.
A little bit bright for you. Right, well, I'm going to... That's all right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to see how it goes when I start turning. Yeah. Right, and like I said, tool rest above the centre, and we angle down to it. Let me come up a little bit, fraction higher. I want to be up here so I can angle down. Okay, everything's cleared. Right. Well, that's better, see? Because I just cleared that hole out a little bit. That makes it a little bit better. And hollowing is as easy as that, guys. Right, I can see the bottom there. Can't see whether there's still a hole there or not yet. I don't think there is. Right, we're okay. Right, now I don't know how well that shows it for you on the camera. Can you come down and... Right, hang on, I'm just going to lower you down a little bit. Right, now you might see it in.
That's better.
You there? Right, okay. So now you can see where the tool goes, okay? Now you can see I am above centre, okay? I'll show you on the outside of the pot here. I could actually come up even a little bit more there for these finished cuts. Tiny bit, but you can see, look, half the pot is down here. I'm right up above, so I would be hitting up quite high inside. Okay, and now all I'm doing is pushing in nice and gentle, and I'm just going to follow that side down, and I start off with the tool level as I start here, but then I have to raise my handle to come to the middle as I finish the cut. Right, there we go, and what you'll find there, when you come to that bottom, look, there's no grabbing, there's no nothing. You can see, you know, I mean, we are going down. Where's my pencil line? I think I've rubbed it off. Pencil line's there. I think I'm already at the bottom of the hole, but I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Look, I can go deeper. Okay. Oh, there is a little bit of hole there still. Yeah, I'm just stroking the hole. I'll check it in a minute and see. Right, there we go. I've got my slight taper. It's not going to be a lot, it's just going to be enough. But as you see, there is absolutely no grabbing whatsoever, no catching, no grabbing. Right, I'm going to stop it, pull this back a bit and have a look. I have still got a little bit of a hole to go there. I can still see there's a little bit of a hole on the bottom. So I've got a tiny bit more to go. Now you can see I've got the thickness of that. My tool rest is actually here. So my overhanging so far, that's the centre of the tool, on the centre of the tool rest. So I'm already hanging this much over. And as you can see, because of the way I set it and the way I'm going, I've got absolutely no grabbing whatsoever. Okay. Now I can lean right back and I can look in the hole and see. I'm trying to see where the bottom of this bloody hole is. I didn't drill it that deep. Oh, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. There it is. Yeah, I've just got to stroke that bottom bit off. There we go. And just stroke it. You can see what I'm doing. I'm putting the chisel down below the hole, well, below the bottom, and just stroking it, and that gives me a beautiful finish across it. Right, I'm going to just come in here and get this bottom corner done. A lot of dust in there, as you can see. It's a very dry wood because it is seasoned firewood. Okay, and I think that's going to be it. I think that is going to be it. Right, okay, let me put that tool back for a minute. Move this away. That came in very handy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
There, turn that off. Stop that. Put it back up there for a minute. Thank you very much for that. Oh yeah, we've got quite a nice fish. You're not going to be able to do a lot of sanding on the inside of that. And yes, I've got a totally flat bottom on that. Totally flat bottom. I'll be able to show you that a bit better when I've actually finished it. Okay. So now I'm going to get an actual mark here. I think what I might be able to do is, the better thing is to measure it, isn't it?
You've got a flat bottom, so
that would be the sensible thing. Right, so where am I? Because I've got a slight taper, see? So I'm 65 mil. So if I mark that there, so we've gone 65 mil deep. Okay, now that's not over deep for hollowing, but when you're doing straight vessels, believe me, that is quite deep. Quite a bit of your tool overhanging. Okay, there we are. So we've got that set at that. Now, one thing you could try, Lise, hang on, let me just see.
You've got the other torch on.
No, if I put that on there, that actually might help you to see a little bit more, will it? No, I can't. It would be nice if it was down there, but I've got nothing to.
No, I've got nothing metal.
Nothing metal down. I might have to put something metal on the bottom of this camera,
that would be
and that will actually hold that.
Yeah.
That will actually hold that. Right, give me 1 second. I've got some. Right, I'll bring you back in a second, guys. I've just got. Okay, guys, I've actually mounted the lamp on the camera arm, and it actually works pretty good like that. I can't do that with my other ones because I can't. Right, so anyway, you can see there it's very dusty in there. I haven't sanded it yet. We've got a beautiful flat bottom. I can't get the camera to go lower. There, it's as low as I'm going to be able to get it to go at the moment. Okay, but you can see what we've got on that bottom. Okay, and that tapers slightly in, only slightly, but it's a little bit. So now I'm just going to do this outside bit. Okay, and oh, I'm going to do that top edge first. So Lisa will just go slightly over there. That's it. I'm going to leave that light on there, and we'll see how that comes out through the filming, because it looks actually quite good with that. Right, okay, so start up. 9mm box hollower, available on my website. Keep telling you, £36 free post. Now I'm hoping you can see how far above centre I am when I'm cutting this. You don't have to be down there on centre. Look, I'm cutting nicely above. Beautiful little finish there. Don't want no sharp edges. Little stroke. And this side we'll do is we come up here and do a finish on it. Okay, so don't touch the side. You can help it. Right, okay. I'm going to use a parting tool because now I know how far where my bottom is. I want a little bit of weight in the bottom because it's a pencil pot. So I'm going to come in about here to give me an idea of where I want to finish it. And give myself a little bit of playroom to be able to just kill that bottom slightly. But now I did say I was thinking of doing a little bit of a tapering. I'm going to stay with the 9mm now for a little bit. So I'm going to come in. Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of a taper there. Like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to roll this as a little bead there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do a little cove. I'm just playing with an idea. Yeah, that looks quite good to me. So I've got to come down here and do another cut. Now what I'm going to do, still taper it a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be alright there. Okay, so now I've got to come over. To bring that in, like so. And then I've got to come down here, finish that corner like so. Okay, it should give us a nice finish on our bead. We've got a little bit of that. Let me use me now to get that, see if I can get that dust line out. How's that looking? Yeah, there's like a dust line in there. Right, and then where I've got this cut, I'm actually gonna keep that, but I'm gonna flare it. And flare the bottom out slightly. Take that sharp edge off. Down to the bottom. And come in here and down to the bottom and meet up. Okay, we don't want to cut uphill. Remember, it's same as if you have a bowl. You just go in, you don't come out. Only dickheads do that. Sorry, did I say dickhead?
Yeah.
When I'm just in deep concentration, I get very honest. Don't have time to be politically correct. Right, okay, I think that's going to look quite nice like that. Now, I think we've got a nice finish on here. Straight off the round. We'll have a quick look. That's not bad. Could be a little bit better. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in again with the square. Okay, and I'm going to take a very fine cut with a square. Yeah, I think that gave that a little bit better finish. I'll have a look so you can see I'm not lying. There, look at that finish. Okay, we've got no tear out, no nothing on there. Got a slight sharp sort of edge to that. So what I'm going to do with that, just going to start up. I'm going to take a little, just rolled it, just that tiny little roll. That's it. All in control. Everything's controlled. I think that's going to be all right as my little pencil pot. Right, Lisa's going to bugger off around there, and I'm going to do a little, tiny little bit of sanding. Right, see that was all good, so I'm going to have a little go with this one. I don't want that. What have I got there? I've got a, I think that's a 320 grit I'm going to start with. Something like that. And I'm going to use this just to oh, beautiful. As I did say, if you use a power one, it is the best one on spindles because you sand on this bottom edge here, and it's rotating round, so you're actually going around on it. When you tend to use these ones, they tend to only work on this side, and it's just going down, and you can get lines when you stop it. The same as when you hand sand. With this you don't get them.
There's the Makita angle drill.
Right, beautiful. A little bit on that. Right, a little bit in here, if I can get in there. Some of that, in that centre bit of that, will have to be done by hand, and so will that be. Because obviously I can't get into that, so I need a bit of normal hand paper. Let me just tap it off a little bit. Oh, there you go, that's beautiful. Nearly makes it look like I know what I'm doing.
Almost.
Yeah, I quite like that. I quite like that shape actually. I created something there. Right, we'll go inside. Always watch when you do the inside of pots that your fingers are long enough to get to the bottom. The amount of times I've gone in and it's been a bit deeper, it hits you right in there and it bloody burns. It hurts. It really does. It only happens a few hundred times before you realise not to do it. Oh, there we go. And I mean, the tiny bit, you can see I'm only doing a very tiny bit of sanding, and this was just done with a carbide, you know. Those things that are just leaving everything rough and horrible. But that's because, said it before, everyone else makes carbide scrapers. I make tools to cut. I'm not going to touch it outside, I've done it. Right, that's that. Okay, that's all nice. Stop that. Right, I've got an old bit of rag here, I'm just going to give it a dust off. Like so. There, we've dusted it off. Okay. And now I'm going to, very quick little splosh of sanding sealer. Let me get my cloth that I use for that. Put that under there. And that's been a little, well, it wouldn't be long-winded. These are very, very quick to do. Right, I'm not going to slow it down to do the inside bit. Okay. Can't splash anywhere. There you go, that's that done. And then on the outside, I'm going to stop it and come in with my sanding sealer and put it on while it's stopping. There you go. Now, it's got some, like, I suppose, the greeny colours in the wood. It is a piece of firewood, remember, so it's not going to be the pretty. Nice pieces of wood to paint or colour if you're into that sort of thing. It's like the inside makes it look a bit dirty, but it's not dirty. It's just the colour from the wood, okay? It's got some, like, blackish and greenish bits in it, I suppose, whatever. It's been laying around, hasn't it? It is what it is. It's seasoned firewood, so we can't say anything much about that. Well, I'm going to get a few shavings out of the bucket and start it up, give it a little, like so. I'm not going to do it on the inside, I'm going to use my finger, because if I do it on the inside, that's good enough, see? That's it, that's what you needed to do. And now I'm going to use some canuba wax. If I've done the shavings on the inside, I then have to stop it to hoover it and all that sort of crap, wouldn't I? Now that's going to be a bit awkward to get in there, isn't it? Look. Fingers just aren't long enough. But it'll get the top bit done. And you ain't going to worry about the bottom bit, it's going to have pencils thrown in it, isn't it? Yep. So you can know what it's going to be like once the pencils all get thrown in there. But that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Eh?
Yes.
For a bit of firewood, I mean, come on.
Yep.
And these are just, again, guys, they're just little craft fair ideas. You can do it out of nice bits of exotic wood if you want, whatever. You can do it out of little bits of firewood, cheap and cheerful, and sell them for literally a few quid each, you know, and people will buy them just to put on their desk because it's a hand-turned piece, isn't it? You know, made with your own lily white hands. Oh dear, squeaky. Never mind. Right, I'm going to part that off. I'm not going to slow it down. I'm not doing anything different. But I am certainly not going to be leaning over my spinning chuck. No. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to part off. So we're going to do it that side. There we go. We're coming to it. We're coming to it. Coming to it. There we go. Off. Yeah. That needs a little sand. A little sand, which won't take me 2 seconds to do.
Oh, it's the rubber band I can see. Okay.
Sorry?
Because I've zoomed in. Zoomed out, I should say. I can see the rubber band on the camera.
Right, okay. A little sand. My sanding arbor. Yes, it goes in. The Axminster made their tracks compatible to my sanding arbors. And also Record Power and Nova. They all done it. They're brilliant, aren't they? You know.
It's nice of them, though, isn't it?
They made all their chucks compatible with my sanding arbors.
And sanding arbors are available to purchase on the website. £25, free postage to use.
Yeah, actually I've been really doing a lot of those just late, so you might have to wait a couple of days for them to be made. Get that little knobble where that knobble was. There we go, look at that, that's finished off. Right, okay, stop that. Brilliant. See, so universal. Goes in there, you can have it out. If you had a pot, like that's not a straight pot, if you had a pot you wanted to put on and sand the bottom of it, you can do it with that. Like that. Just magic. Like. And then you can take it out, you can put it in your drill, and you can use it in your drill. Right, now what I'm going to do on the bottom of that, obviously I can't do the Canuva wax because it's not spinning and it needs, no, that's a hard one, sorry. That's too hard, that wax. That's one I use for something else. This is the one I want. Softer one. Right. And that will give a nice little finish on that bottom. Okay. And I would like buff it on a buffing wheel or something with a bit of Canuva wax, but for quickness, guys, there you go, that's that. Right, done with carbide. Right, I've got the slight spray to it, very slight taper I should say. Take my face debris off, put that down there, and there's our little pot, guys. Nothing special, it's nothing over fantastic, but it's something again that's come from a piece of firewood. Which,
I'm going to take this light out.
If you've sold
rubber band, it's in the way of the camera now.
There you go. Turn that off. Yeah. Turn it off. Thank you. You zoomed out.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much for that. Yep, absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Works brilliant. Right now, then, let my pencils come along. All my little pencils. There's my little pencil pot.
Yeah.
As you can see, we hollowed down into the inside of that. I haven't done a lot of sanding. I would have done a little bit more and a little bit better finish on it, but there you go. But that's going to have pencils chucked in it like that. And the idea, see, is because it's got that slight taper, they will angle out all the time, so it makes it a bit easier to go rather than if they're straight up like that. You know, there you go.
There you go.
Keeps my pencils in there, short pencils as well. You know, you can have longer pencils, whatever. But that's all it was, guys. A simple little, get dust on it. Quick, simple little pencil pot. Looks quite attractive. Remember, leave a little bit of weight in the bottom because otherwise it will topple over. If you did put long pencils in there, it topple over. But a small little pencil pot like that can just go on a desk, go on a dressing table, go anywhere you want.
You can put makeup brushes in there.
You could put makeup brushes in there if you want, guys.
Not
or you
guys.
ladies if you want.
Female turners. Yeah, for the female turners, make your
Female turners.
Yes.
Female.
Oh yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah,
Well, not me,
everywhere,
not
bloody
me.
Get on the fishing and
Not me,
everything.
yeah.
Women, they take over all these men's things they took over. Right, I don't want to upset no one,
was
so
gonna say-
I'll stop at that point.
And we're better.
So, matter of opinion that is. Right, there we go, guys. Nice little, it's cheap, simple, easy pencil pot. Sell them cheap. You know, people will buy them. People will buy them for their kids, for their little, their desk things they have, you know, in the bedroom where they
desk
do their
things.
drawing and stuff, or to have by the skirting board so they can draw on the wallpaper, things like that. Don't have to keep them, having go searching for pens, do you? They want to just be able to draw it there and then. So anyway, guys, that is it. Another piece from another piece of firewood. All these little things. Doesn't matter whether you want to make a pencil pot. Doesn't matter whether you want to sell it. It's practice. Then when you want to make a little lidded pot, you know how to hollow that. Without there's no running bevels down the inside of pencil pots and things like that, because you can't get on bevels. They're too narrow. They're too deep. You can't do it. Okay. You don't want to be scraping upside. You're going to tear the grain out like mad. That is the easiest way to get a nice finish on the inside, to have it finished. What I would do if I want a really nice finish is come in with a box hollower, get on the side, come out, drop the handle right down and come out right at the top. I've shown how to do it several times. Beautiful, clean finish, lovely. There you go. But remember, I am talking about my chisels, all the single chisels, £36, free UK post, apart from the deep hollowers, they're 40, and then chisel sets, £85, free UK post. There you go. And they cut, they do this, everything you see me do, they do. Okay, you just need to have a little bit of practice, a little bit of understanding of what it is, and you can do it. Even rolling these little beads with a 9mm round carbide, we come down and we roll that bead and come in and make this. We do everything with a 9mm carbide, absolutely easy as anything, no catches. Don't get it on your body. Learn to use your hands, learn to use your arms. They're actually wonderful things they are. You can even get right round behind you to wipe your bum and everything. Fantastically thought out things, aren't they? Imagine doing that if you had to keep your hands on your body. Be fun, wouldn't it? Right. Anyway, guys, toodle pip, fare thee do wells, and I will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.